Soto not playing in these 3 games did concern me a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought he'd at least make an appearance or at least pinch hit at some point. The selfish baseball fan in me really wanted to see him play in the series.
See, I'd rather him sit during the Dodgers series and still be around toward the end of the year.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm one of your hosts, Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. With me, as usual, is my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian.
Stacey, a little back and forth, right? Not sure how I feel. Not like happy about the win, but not a great series for the Yankees.
Yeah, they were kind of due for a stinker. It just stinks that, all right, I'm saying stinks too much, but it stinks that it was against the Dodgers because, you know, you kind of want to see them do well against a team like that, but it's fine. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like the videos, hit the bell so you're notified when our videos go up. Coming up on today's show, we preview the 4-game set in Kansas City, which begins tonight. It's Minors Monday. We're going to check in on how some of the players are doing down in the minors. But first, the Yankees and the Dodgers clash in a big series, and everyone makes too big of a deal out of it.
It did feel like a big deal series. I think even the players thought it was a big deal. My big takeaways, they got Soto not playing in these 3 games did concern me a little bit. Yeah. I thought he'd at least make an appearance or at least pinch hit at some point. The fact that didn't happen at all, especially in game 1, there were plenty of opportunities in the first game. And I understand in the second game when it gets away from you, not playing him, sure. But in the first game, he might actually be not hurt, but like, I mean, there could be something lingering that they're being extra cautious on, which I'm fine with, but the selfish baseball fan in me really wanted to see him play in the series.
See, I'd rather him sit during the Dodgers series and still be around toward the end of the year.
I agree.
And not do something to hurt his elbow, forearm combo even more. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's a big series because it's the Dodgers, and every series is you want them to win every series. They're not going to win every series, and it's a bummer. You know, that first game was the most annoying one because...
It got away from them.
It got away from them because a combo of Cody Petit, Michael Tonkin. By the way, can we talk about what Matt Blake has done for him? Because
him and Weaver, the storylines are incredible, but him and Weaver.
Unbelievable. Should we ask Chris Kirchner to now do the same kind of article he did about Luke Weaver, about Michael Tonkin?
Literally.
It's gotten to that point. So that game was it was frustrating, right?
I will say they did get shut down by Yamamoto.
Well, yeah,
he was electric. I mean, but Petit looked good. And I think the reason why he's looked good is because there's not really much of a book on him out right now. So not a lot of hitters know how to study him and prepare for him. But Yamamoto was electric. I mean, he really showed up for the biggest spot. I mean, and that was the first game of the series. A lot of highlights on it. It did hurt that it was a Prime game or an Apple TV game. I think it was an Apple TV game.
Apple TV.
That hurt a little bit because if that's on national TV, there's a lot more eyeballs on it. And I think the Apple TV broadcast, I'm not personally a big fan of it. I don't
like
need
the
to know.
Picture. I like how it looks.
Yeah, but I don't need the strikeout probability or the walk probability. Like I don't need that. But Yamamoto was electric. I mean, he was as advertised. I think there was something to his game. There was a little bit of a pep in his step, right? Going up against the team that bid on him, that he chose the Dodgers over. I think there's a little bit of extra energy of a boost for him. But that game, even late, right? The 8th inning kind of annoyed me that they had the bases loaded there and 1 run probably ends it. And then you go into extras and you just couldn't get anyone across. The biggest storyline that starts in that game and ends as it goes on is how good Judge was in the biggest of games, right? I mean, he gives you the confidence that if this was a World Series matchup, he'd be just as good because the bright light doesn't seem to affect him. And I mean, Stacey, the double that he ripped in game 1, the 2 home runs in game 2, the homer again tonight. I mean, he really, since the start of May, we're now going on a month and a half now. He's been on one of the most electric I can't remember I was seeing you before the show. I remember the A-Rod MVP years, right? And the 05, 07, when, I mean, he was unbelievable, hit 150 RBIs and 57 homers. He was crazy good. I don't honestly remember him being, I was much younger, but I don't remember him being at this level of consistently amazing on a day-to-day basis than the way Judge is right now. I mean, it's that crazy of how good he's playing.
Yeah, like he would have a month where he'd hit like 12 home runs, you know, which I mean is still like good. But what Judge has done since the beginning of May is absolutely ridiculous. He's batting .305 now. Do you remember when everyone was trying to say, "Oh, he should go down to AAA because he needs some time to like work on things"?
He's hitting like 420 since the start of May. Like that's for a month and a half. That's not over a week or two. Because you remember the first 2 weeks of May, we were talking about, oh, Judge is hitting 380 in the first 2 weeks. He's really picking it up. He's hitting like 400 now in the last. Like, I mean, it's over a month and a half period of time. The power's been there, right? And the clutch hitting. I can't say enough about him. And by the way, too, a major bugaboo for him in his first 2 years was the strikeouts. He's not striking out. Like, he's not leading the league in strikeouts. He's not striking out a lot. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with being protected by Juan Soto in that lineup, but even without Juan Soto in this whole series, Judge was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that, as much as it annoyed me that the rest of the lineup didn't seem to be doing anything without Juan Soto until Sunday night, it felt good to know that Judge could still hit without Juan Soto because he's not as dependent on Juan Soto. But everyone else seemed to be until Sunday night. Saturday, I don't even want to talk about Saturday, really. The thing that I liked was after the game, after Gleyber had that horrible play, and then the grand slam happens, he answered for it. He said what you want a player to say. He didn't hide from it. He was like, yeah, my bad. Which
I have so much respect for Gleyber, and I don't know where the bad rap came. I mean, I don't know if it's a bad rap, but Yankee fans tend to just not like him. And I don't know why. Everyone's so quick to get rid of him, and they call him a lazy player. There's not a lot of second basemen in the league. I mean, if you look around the league, not a lot of middle infielders, guys, give you 270, 20, and 80 on a consistent basis. And he does it, and he's not a terrible fielder. He gets a bad rap for his fielding because of how bad he was at shortstop the 1 year. And he really wasn't that terrible at shortstop the 1 year. But regardless, he gets a bad rap for that. And meanwhile, when you look at Gleyber's overall body of work, you don't get, there's not a lot of middle infielders in the league that do what he does at the plate. It really are not. And I bring Gleyber back for the right price, and I don't think you're going to get him back at the right price because someone will overpay for a player like that, and it'll be proven that teams do value the kind of player that he is. Somebody will pay him like $22 million a year, and the Yankees aren't going to play in that range. But if he wanted to come back for $13, $15 million a year, I'd be totally on board for that. I don't think a lot of Yankee fans would, but I would.
But this is what bothers me. Yankee fans are too hard on him. They're too hard on Stanton. They're so hard on Gleyber. And Gleyber was, he had that one bad month, but for the rest of the season, he was the most consistent hitter that the Yankees had in 2023.
And we don't remember.
It was overshadowed. It was overshadowed by how bad the whole team did, so it wasn't noticed. But it drives me crazy that people act like he's this terrible player when he's not. He started off slow. Mm-hmm. You know, and it just doesn't help that the errors that he makes are glaring when they happen. You know, there are other guys in the league that have as many errors as him, and people aren't making as big a deal as they are with Gleyber. You know, I'm not saying he's doing great, but people are being too hard on him.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because what people might get mistaken about last year, which is so funny to me, is last year his September was as good, as bad as his August was. I mean, he was awesome in September, and he got his numbers up a lot, and people forgot about it, right? Because they fell apart in August, and he was playing horrible, and everyone remembers that. And then all of a sudden the season ends in September, no one was watching, so no one really cared. And I don't know. I sit back and remember the 38 and 100 year that he had, his rookie year where he had 27 homers, and he had like 80 RBIs. You don't get that a lot from guys, you know? You really don't. And he's a sustainable everyday major leaguer. And I always like to say to Yankee fans this is be careful what you wish for, because if they let Gleyber walk, which I fully anticipate happening, I'd love to keep him, but I see someone overpaying him, or at least overpaying what the Yankees want to pay is what I should say. I see someone doing that. And here's what I'll say. Be careful what you wish for, because if they do let him walk to go to someone else and he signs somewhere else, be careful of who replaces him at second base. because I don't know if they're going to have the money to go out there and sign a top tier player out there, or if there's going to be one available. Be careful of who winds up playing second base on them, because you might not get the production that you get out of Glaber every year.
Right. So let's talk about Sunday very quickly. So the crowd starts chanting, "We want Soto."
I was chanting it too in my apartment alone.
And then Trent Grisham's like, okay.
It's went to the moon. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I do have to read this though. Connor Foley, who used to cover Scranton for the Times Tribune out there, who now works for Yes, said something pretty funny on Twitter about the Grisham thing. I will find it. But I thought it was hilarious because it was like the perfect tweet. Here it is. You knew the lefty hitting former San Diego Padre was going to come up with a big home run for the Yankees.
No, you're right. He was part of the Juan Soto trade. But I mean, Glasnow did look good too. Glasnow really did kill them too. I didn't. Heel pitched all right. Right, he pitched all right.
This was like his first. Someone called it a stinker, which I thought was really funny because his
3 runs is
not really a stinker. Like, it's a stinker for him because he's just been so good, but it wasn't really. But let's talk about Glasnow just for a second, because his line apparently was very rare, and someone put it through StatHead on Baseball Reference, and it seems to be the first time that this kind of line has happened since they started keeping track of box scores. 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts. Because it is kind of hard to strike out 12, but also give up 5 runs. That doesn't really happen that often.
To strike out 12 over 6 is also incredible. Like his stuff's amazing, and they got him on a bargain too with the trade they got for him. They're gonna be a tough out this year, and they're gonna need some back end hitting, and they're gonna need some bullpen pitching. But if they get it, watch out, because they're already in first place for like 9 games in the division already. Anyway.
Yeah, he was 4-2 with an ERA of 2.74. And he only made 9 appearances against the Yankees. And that's with all of his starts with the Rays, which I thought I was like, he's only made 9 appearances.
One of them's that playoff game where he absolutely shut them down.
Yeah. So, 2.74, 63 strikeouts in those 9 appearances. So it's not surprising that he did well. He seems to do well against them all the time, because that's just the way his stuff plays. So for them to get 5 runs off him, that's actually a really big deal.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't feel like they looked great in this series. I didn't feel like they showed up that much. This is a big series coming up against Kansas City also. I think the Dodgers, to me, the storyline coming out of this series is the Dodgers look like they're slightly better than the Yankees at this point. Now, hard for me to put that really into words in a June series, right? It doesn't mean as much to me, but the Dodgers looked a slight tick better than the Yankees to me.
They just had a better series. They lost 2 out of 3 to Pittsburgh coming into this series, and the Yankees had won 8 in a row. And that's just the way baseball works. So I'm not worried about the Dodgers because, first of all, the Yankees probably won't see them again because they usually lose in the first round. Now, quickly, Heel, best outing, not the best outing on Sunday, but through 20 career games. He's 9-2 with a 2.58 ERA and 133 strikeouts.
Doesn't get much better than that. And also, a public service announcement to all the media members out there. His name is Luis Heel, not Luis Gill. Not Gill. All right. The amount of people that I heard say that today or the weekend was crazy. Here's Gill up to the mound. It's not Gill. It's Heel. Yes. Luis Heel.
Like your heel on your foot.
Yes.
Yeah.
God.
Good Lord. Okay. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. Also, reply to our pinned comment on our videos from Monday through Thursday. If you want your questions answered for Fan Mail Friday, we do it every week. It's a lot of fun. We had a lot of questions last week, and we answered all of them to the best of our ability. So it was fun. Or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You'll get texts from us. You can text us questions. We text out like roster moves and anything that Yankees PR sends out. You get it right away if you're not on Twitter. So we help you out that way. There's a 14-day free trial. Okay, coming up next, it's Minors Monday. We're going to look at how certain guys are doing at certain levels. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is a reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Locked On Sports Today is a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the noise. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news. Streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And don't forget, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. I know Ricky Ricardo was doing the games with Susan this weekend, and he was getting rave reviews from people. I just love that his name's Ricky Ricardo. When I found that out, I thought that was the best thing ever. And we have something about a name of a player in Minors Monday, which we're doing right now. It's Minors Monday. All right, Scranton, let's talk about Dominguez, because he's really, honestly, the biggest story. He's the biggest story in Scranton. He went 4 for 5 with a home run on Sunday, and so far in Scranton, he's 10 for 20 with 3 doubles and 2 home runs since joining them. They're obviously keeping an eye on him, but the Yankees want him to play every day, and Sunday was the first time he played a full game because they had been monitoring him with either 4 at-bats or 7 innings, whichever came first, which is why the whole hullabaloo happened with the Soto, like, oh, Soto was taken out and Dominguez was taken out and what's happened? That's why. So he played his first full game on Sunday. They can extend his rehab a second time if needed. They can do that 10-day extension if they want to. The original period was up June 4th. So they could add after June 14th, they can do another 10-day.
So 24th.
Yeah, so they might, because where are they going to put him? If Soto is okay and he starts playing again, they're not really going to have a spot for him because they want him to play every day.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not going to bring him up to be a bench player.
Good to play in the minor, to be in the minors, though. It's good problem to have, but they're really getting in the crunch time of what do you do?
Right. Moving down to Somerset, Spencer Jones has 3 home runs in his last 4 games. He finished May with, wait, no, that's not right. 15 walks. He finished May with 15 walks. I have 5 written there. I'm like, wait, there's a number missing there. But since the start of June, he's only walked once because he's hitting the ball more. He's not watching pitches go by. So that's a good sign for him. Someone else is also hitting the ball pretty well. Agustin Ramirez. He was quiet on Sunday, but he's batting .276, 368, 566 in 220 plate appearances with 10 doubles, 1 triple, 15 home runs, 41 runs batted in, 40 runs scored, and he's 12 for 13 on stolen bases.
Yeah.
So that is pretty good. He also joined Jared Cerna in the 3-run home run, or the 3 home run club on Friday night. Cerna did that last week for Hudson Valley, and Ramirez did that this week for Somerset. He went 3 for 5 with 6 RBIs in that game. It looks like he might have to stay down in Somerset, though, because Scranton's kind of jam-packed with first basemen / catchers. But if things are going as badly for Anthony Rizzo as they have been, and they keep sitting him and they try to think of something to do, it is possible that someone may go up from Scranton to the Yankees, or, you know, something might happen. So you might see Ramirez go up at some point. And, this guy, Garrett Cole, he also pitched on Sunday for
big weekend in Somerset.
For Somerset. He went 4 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run. The 1 run was off a home run, but that's fine. No walks, 4 strikeouts. And according to Susan Waldman, he has 1 more rehab start coming up this week, and he could be back with the team in time for them to come home and play Baltimore next week after they return from Boston. So that's good.
he was driving from Somerset to the Bronx every day too, because he pitched earlier today at like 1:00, and then he drove it to the Bronx, I guess, which is not a fun drive on a weekend. Yeah,
no, I can't even imagine that. They were wearing was it Avengers uniforms?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was I kind of love that he's there for that.
Yeah.
I love when the rehabbing guys are wearing like these uniforms that you would never see them play.
It's so minor leagues.
Yeah, and I think he likes that too, because they had interviewed him after his last rehab appearance, and he was talking about how, it's cool being with Somerset, but he admitted that he missed the Trenton Bat Dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I do too. All right, Tampa. Roderick Arias is 13 for 35 in June with 2 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs. Nice. That's more extra base hits than he had in May. And at the end of May, his OPS was 570, and now it's 707. So he's picked it up in the first 2 weeks of June. And Cade Smith went 5 innings on Sunday. He had 11 strikeouts in those 5 innings, his personal best. Overall, his ERA is 2.85, and he has given up 17 earned runs in 53 2/3 innings. And this is my favorite thing. I mentioned a name. There's a guy named Ocean Gabonia who pitches for the Tarpons. He went 1 inning, no runs, no hits, a walk, and a strikeout in their loss on Sunday. His ERA for the year is 5, but he started off well in June. He's pitched 5 innings, only given up 2 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. But his name is Ocean, and I thought that was
Ocean
the greatest
Gabonia,
thing.
Which is such a New York name.
I'm like,
the last
what?
name.
I'm like,
Ocean Gabonia.
Yeah, it's like I had to include that because that's amazing. So there is your Miners Monday report. Key guys are doing well, and oh, wait, I totally skipped over Hudson Valley, didn't I? Sorry. Jared Cerna and Cam Schlitter. There's a joke in there. Cerna went 2 for 5 on Sunday in Hudson Valley's win over Wilmington. He has 5 doubles in his last 4 games, 45 doubles in 177 games between 2023 and 2024. Schlitter went 4 2/3, gave up 1 run on 5 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. The joke is, if you've seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and Cousin Eddie is emptying out his trailer into the sewer and he says the infamous line, I always think in my head when I see Cam Schlitter, Schlitter was full. So that will always be what I think of when I see this kid's name. And I'm so sorry, Cam Schlitter, but that's just how my brain works. It's either music or movie quotes. So yeah. So there's your Miners Monday. I'm so sorry to Jared Cerna and Cam Schlitter. I nearly forgot. I just totally skipped over you and went to Tampa. I apologize. Coming up next, we're previewing that series against the Royals. It's 4 games in Kansas City. Should be interesting.
Are you struggling to close deals? Business to business selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with the people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/all-caps-locked-on. That's linkedin.com/locked-on for a free 60-day trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/locked-on and get started. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV Channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now, available on the free Fire TV channels app. And also, guys, you got to remember that you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast on the Sirius XM app. Just download the SXM app, search the word Yankees, and you can download the app there. Stacey, big series, 4-game set in Kansas City, a ballpark that I haven't gotten to yet that I really do want to get to because it looks really cool before they knock it down. Tough series. Not an easy series. Kansas City is a lot better than I think you think of Kansas City since the World Series years, and you think, they haven't been that great. They've been really good.
This year, yeah.
And tough to beat this year. Probably Judge has been playing great. Soto's been great. I think Bobby Witt Jr. still would be the MVP candidate in the AL. That's how good he's been this year. But let's talk about it because this is going to be a fun series and a real good litmus test, especially before they go into Boston where, that's not a cakewalk either with how good Boston's been this year. They've been on and off, but their pitching's been really good. So you're going to get a good matchup this week too against a lot of really, really good pitchers for Kansas City too. Game 1, you got Rodon, who's 8-2 with a 3.08 ERA. He's going against maybe the Cy Young candidate of the AL. It's either him or Luis Gil that are the two tops. Definitely the two tops for the All-Star game candidacy of who's going to start for the American League. Seth Lugo, remember him, New Yorkers? He's 9-1 with a 2.13 ERA this year. That game's an 8-10 start. All the first 3 games are. Stacey, forget Rodon. How good has Seth Lugo been?
Yeah, and he had his first bad start of the year, which bumped his ERA up above 2 because he was down at like 170. So
crazy how good he's been.
Yeah, it's just it's fun to see Kansas City doing something again.
Yeah.
It's
their
fun.
rebuild took a while.
Yeah, it's nice to see some teams that, you're used to seeing not do well actually finally do well. I really don't think they should knock down that stadium. I like that stadium. I've never been there, but I know people who have been there and they love it. My brother's been there.
I've heard that too. And the food in that area too is tremendous. I've heard Kansas City's got great food. Yeah. I've never been. It just feels like they're going to build. You keep seeing rumors every week about them having a new downtown stadium built. I feel like it's coming at some point, but Kauffman Field looks awesome. I want to see it before they knock it down. Game 2 is going to get Marcus Stroman, who's 5-2 at a 3.04. Numbers a little inflated after the last start. He's been really solid though over the last month or so. He's going against Brady Singer, who's also had a really good year for Kansas City. He's been there for a while too. 4-2 with a 2.76 ERA. This is a guy who's gone through the down years in Kansas City. And it's always nice to see stories like that when guys go through down years on a team and then they get through, transition through, and wind up becoming real players when the team actually becomes good again. It's a good story to see guys like this.
Yeah. I just want to see like 3 Judge home runs into the fountains.
That's it. You're only asking for 3?
He
might give you more.
Just 3, maybe 2 in one game. That'd be cool.
Game 3 is new Yankees star pitcher Cody Poteet because they can't have a starter who doesn't know how to pitch. He's 2-0 with a 1.72. Again, he hasn't really pitched that much. They don't let him go past the 5th inning, really. But he still has been really good. I think the reason why he's been so good is because there isn't really a book out on Poteet yet. It's one of those things where guys don't really have a way to study before the game. We'll see how he looks in one of these games coming up. He's going up against a guy who's had an unbelievable year. You think the first 2 starters for Kansas City were good. Undecided. I mean, he doesn't even have an ERA. So, I mean, he's been that good for them. That's who Kansas City's shelling out there. First 3 games of this series are going to start at 8:10 Eastern. So you got to stay up a little later for these Yankee fans.
Yeah. You got to stay up a little later for us as well because 8 o'clock, 8:10 starts don't usually end until like
11:30.
11:30. So yeah, don't expect the show to be out that quickly. I'm just telling you right now. Just
and then game 4 though, you get a break though, 2:10, and we'll likely have the show out then. We'll have it done by who knows. I mean, going into the weekend because that's our weekend, so we're gonna get it done nice and quick. That game you'll get Nestor Cortez towing the slab back again after last night's start. 3-5 with a 3.68 ERA. Been a lot worse on the road than he's been at home, so we'll see how he bounces back on the road in Kansas City. He's going up against Alec Marsh, who's 5-3 with a 4.05. And again, that's a 2:10 start on a Thursday. Kind of a weird, wonky time, but I kind of like it.
It's a getaway day. That's why.
Yeah.
That's only
on my off day. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because they got to go to Boston for the weekend.
Yeah, and everyone knows that I think they're walking, so that trip is really long.
Yeah, well, I mean, from Kansas City it is because that's halfway across the country. But I always find it funny when they have when the schedule is like, oh yeah, they're going to play a day game the day before they go to Boston from New York. And it's like, they could just take a train. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't. I give up on complaining about the times. It's just all I'm gonna do is complain about time because they fly private charter with like masseuses on board and all the food they could possibly want, and they get to fly in their pajamas. Really, do they a getaway day to Boston is that important?
I will say I like that they've loosened things up and the Yankees don't have to wear suits flying anymore.
That was always ridiculous.
Yeah, like I like that.
Most professional athletes they've kind of maneuvered to that now.
Yeah. I appreciate that they're a little looser now because that was a little too much for me. Yeah. It's like, all right. I mean, calm down. We know you're the Yankees, but
next move is the facial hair.
Yeah, again,
grow beards.
Yes, but don't grow them. I don't want to see anyone looking like Brandon Marsh or Charlie Blackmon on the team because
but let them grow facial hair.
Yeah, facial hair is fine. But don't make it look like you can store food in your beard or like you have pubic hair.
The old Jason Worth beard. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Oof.
Ugh. Icky. Anyway, all right. Enough about guys looking like they have pubic hair glued to their face. One more time. You can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description under our YouTube videos, 14-day free trial. You get text from us. You can text us questions. You can text us reactions to games. I was actually surprised that there weren't as many angry insider texts this weekend. I was expecting them. I was a little surprised about that. But you can do that. You can join, and we will text you.
You could be one of those angry texters.
You could be one of those angry texters. It's fun. And you can help us with Fan Mail Friday. You get top priority when you ask questions for Fan Mail Friday. You can also leave your questions under our pinned comments Monday through Thursday on YouTube as well for Fan Mail Friday. Or you could do you could ask us, and it doesn't have to be about the Yankees, and it doesn't even have to be about baseball. Let's make it fun this Fan Mail Friday, okay? Ask us personal questions that we can answer and that are PG rated because we're a PG show, okay? And remember, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll see you guys tomorrow.